You are listening to the Dental C-Suite, the strategic alliance for independent dentists, covering the three pillars of practice success, people, profit, and patience from the Dental C-Suite. Here are your hosts.
Welcome back to the Dental C-Suite. I'm Charlie Beaulieu from Title Accounting, joined as always by my co-host Kyle Hamilton from the Dental Marketing Company and Jessica Bereti from Modern HR Solutions. Today is a continuation of doing something a little different. We're into a mini-series where we interview each other, not about business or strategy, but about who we are behind the scenes. At the end of the day, businesses don't buy from businesses, people buy from people. So this is a chance for our listeners to get to know the people behind the Dental C-Suite. Think less how we work and more what we are like growing up, questionable career ideas, hot takes, and the things we'd probably be terrible at. Today, it's all about Jessica. Let's dive in.
Oh no.
We're in the hot seat.
I'm nervous.
So now to ask you the same question that was asked to both of us, Jessica. What would you be terrible at?
Oh, man, I'm sure there's a lot of things, but anything repetitive, like anything with no humans involved. Like I think if I had a job where I was just, I don't know, moving numbers around in silence all day in a cubicle somewhere.
You mean being an accountant?
What you're doing.
I was just going to say.
If I was maybe working for like a big corporation where they stuck me in a room by myself and yeah, I would not excel at that whatsoever. I mean, that's why I hire out someone to do anything involved with numbers, because just anything with numbers is not my kind of thing.
Well, you're blacklisted like from being hired from my company.
You know what though? Also nursing. I think about that all the time. I couldn't be a nurse. Huge respect. 3 of my best friends are nurses and they're amazing nurses. Kudos to them, but that's something that absolutely terrifies me. I'd probably last like one shift and then I would cry for a week, I'm sure.
I want to tease on that string. Like, what part of nursing terrifies you? Because you were a hygienist, and so there's a lot of very similar crossover skills. I'm just curious where that differentiator is.
I don't know if it's like maybe the responsibility factor that's with it, or maybe just the emotional attachment that I would maybe have to the patients. Like I think I'd be too invested in emotionally maybe in the patient. I wouldn't be able to separate, this is just a job and this is what I have to do. I think I just
Yeah.
I've never really thought about that. It's just been, I guess, one career where my friends will talk about their day and I'm thinking like, oh, well, here I thought I had something hard to do, but all I had to do was create an employee handbook. You like,
yeah, a bad day in nursing is,
and, had to do CPR, and it just,
Yeah,
I get, no, that's understandable.
A bad day in nursing is much different than a bad day in our world.
Absolutely.
Yeah. My younger sister's a nurse.
What's that? Sorry?
My younger sister's a nurse, and yeah, I can appreciate exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah, I mean, someone has to do it, and I honestly give full kudos to the people that are in that job, but it's not for everyone.
Yeah. So when you, I know you're not nearly as old as I am. I know I'm the old guy in the group. But 6 months ago when you were 25, just kidding.
What are you talking about? I'm only 22 right now.
Oh, sorry. When you're 25, what do you want to do with your life when you grow up?
Yeah.
But,
well,
but yeah, what did you think you'd be doing when you were 25?
I always thought I would be in dental. Like that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a hygienist. I knew when I was in high school I wanted to be a hygienist. And so I always knew I'd be in dental. When I was 25, when I had been in dental for 5 years, I kind of started to think a little bit differently. I wanted to stay in the field, but I also wanted to own my own business. So for a hot minute, around 25, I thought, oh, I might open my own independent hygiene clinic. Like that sounds like, kind of the best of both worlds. I can still be a hygienist, but then run my own business. And obviously I didn't continue with that. But yeah, I think in a way too, when I was around 25, I thought I'd be doing something more structured. And like I always thought, okay, I'd have a clear career path, that predictable ladder and all that kind of stuff, which is not how dental works at all. So that's kind of funny that I entertained that idea, but also wanted to be in dental. Those two things don't really align. And now I'm in HR and operations, which is basically solving people problems that aren't actually people problems with no clear structure. And anyway, so
Do we just contradict everything?
yes, 100%. It's funny how you changed. Well, I changed my way of thinking a lot in my 20s. What I thought I was going to do to maybe what I could do to what I was going to do. It changed quite a bit. And my 30s, but I won't go any further than that because I'll talk about my age.
So going a little bit further back, what were you like as a kid?
Oh my gosh. I was anxious as hell. Like I was unnecessarily anxious for someone whose probably biggest responsibility was what, homework? Really? And I was a goody two shoes, which I think is funny because all of us have kind of mentioned
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I think I was terrified of making mistakes, which maybe I don't know, it's kind of ironic because that just makes you overthink everything and probably make more mistakes, which I'm sure I did because of that hesitation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was a shy kid, and I don't think because I didn't have any, thoughts to share or anything. It was just because I was always doing like a full risk assessment, I guess, before saying anything. I was always convinced that whatever I said could somehow be wrong. And so yeah, I was
I can
anxious, I was
see
shy, I was like
I can see how HR came to you.
but I will say yeah, exactly, Charlie. Yeah. I will say it's like that's exhausting. And I remember getting to a point when in my 20s where I was like, man, I just cannot do this anymore because I'm just so tired about overthinking every little thing. And when you kind of get rid of that, yeah, it
You
feels
can
really,
grow out of it. Yeah.
yeah, it can be done. You
So
can grow out of it.
on that topic, because I mean that's kind of a big topic of today, anxiety in people. Is that
Yeah.
something you like just vanished overnight because your body just said, "To hell with this, it's making me tired," or like is that like an active thing that you?
Oh, I think it's probably an active thing. Like I wouldn't
Yeah,
say I overthink every single thing right now because I just
yeah,
don't have the time to do that or the
yeah.
energy to be honest. But it's I mean there's certain things. Yeah, I think it's just like geez, that's a good question. No, that's something I probably work on all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely wasn't and I made it sound like that. It was like I decided one day I'm not going to overthink anything and I
You woke up
perfect.
the next morning and you were cured.
Yeah, absolutely not. I shouldn't
Hallelujah.
have said that. Yeah.
The cure to
No,
anxiety.
exactly. If you want a cure, come see me. Yeah. No, I think I just kind of realized that at a certain age where I was like, I could probably shift some things and change some things to maybe make my life a little bit easier. Yeah.
Fair enough. Very good.
Right.
Kind of a roundabout answer to your question.
No, it was a good one.
So you've mentioned you were a hygienist. You now run Mod HR. What was your first job?
Oh man. Okay. Other than like, babysitting and that kind of thing. Um I my first job was at Warehouse 1, the jean store,
Nice.
and, yeah, nice. Yeah, and somehow they're still in business, which I really don't know how, but they are. Um, yeah, and that was
That
interesting. I came out of my shell a little bit because when you're in retail and you have to you have sales to make, you can't just, like, hide behind the till all day. So, yeah, I guess that kinda helped me come out of my shell maybe a little bit.
I was going to ask, what lesson did you glean from that job? I mean, I have worked retail. I know there's lots that you can learn from it, but I'm curious to hear your experience.
Okay, I'm also curious to know if it aligns with your experience because retail, I think it taught me like elite level patience, I guess. Like customers could I think in retail customers can test you in ways you didn't know were possible, especially at 15, right? You know,
Oh yeah.
over denim, like they're testing you over denim of all things, right? And um, I think, and this happened a lot. People will they would confidently, very confidently argue with you over return policies that they didn't read or didn't care to understand and definitely didn't plan to follow anyways, you know? So, and at the time I probably thought, "Oh man, this is like, I don't know, you know, the biggest deal," but looking back, it's like so ridiculous. But I think also with that job, I learned a lot about leadership as far as inconsistent leadership, I guess you could say, and what good leadership was and what good leadership certainly didn't look like. And you know, same company, completely different reality depending on the day and or who was in charge kind of thing. So
Right.
yeah. I do say I say this all the time. I fully believe that everyone should work in either retail, manual labor, or the service industry of some sort at least once because it humbles you quite quickly. It completely changes how you see people, you know, how you handle stress. And honestly, I think just your appreciation for what goes on behind the scenes. So those three industries, I think you have to, you know, you have to at least once in your life. So yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good rule of thumb. Parents out there, make sure your kid gets into one of those.
Well, my plan is to make sure my daughter does all three of them. You
Yeah,
know,
even better,
Yes.
I
right?
think,
Yeah.
Even
yeah,
better.
I think a little manual labor is really important, and I think being in a very customer facing, customer forward role will certainly teach you about how to handle and work with people who when you're
Yeah.
on the other side.
Absolutely.
100%. Yep.
Yeah. Makes you understanding of
Yeah.
what they're going through.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah, there's many times that I used to work in a restaurant and like sometimes when they're
Oof,
delayed, I'm like, it's fine. Been there. I know what's happening behind that wall.
Yeah.
you understand. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what are you naturally good at? And versus maybe something that you had to learn the hard way
um,
or still learning.
probably still learning. Actually, okay, yeah, like I will say this, something I'm still learning. Okay. I I think I'm naturally good at people noticing people dynamics quite
Okay.
quickly, but sometimes to a fault, I think, because I'll be in like a I don't want to say a meeting, but like a group conversation and miss half of the actual content because I'm just like I'm trying to figure out who's avoiding eye contact with who and like the you know
You're
who's
silently
completely
trying to
zoned
pick
out
up all the
that kind of
tensions
thing.
and the
Yeah,
clicks
but
and all that stuff.
yes, exactly. And I think it's because I care a lot about um like workplace culture and fairness and communication and I mean probably more than that's like emotionally efficient to be honest, but um yeah, so I would say I'm good at picking up on people and team dynamics, but it's also something I'm still learning to to maybe be better at in the sense of like I don't have to pick up on every single thing that's happening kind of thing.
Oh, very good.
Interesting. So how how has that kind of led you into the dental field, or how can you relate that to going this way with
I
your
think
career?
as a hygienist, I picked up on a lot of what was happening behind the scenes, not the clinical work, but what affected the clinical work though. So the team dynamics, you know, like who wasn't maybe getting along with who, but why weren't they getting along, you know? And oh, that's something that could be fixed by doing this. So I would pick up on those kind of things and I would want to be able to fix those things, but I was a hygienist. I was in a position to do that, right? It's yeah, and so I think well that is what led me to do start my company and work a lot with dental clinics because I thought I can fix that. I can go in and fix that.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that's exactly why I kind of got to this point. And
Oh,
I like to think that I have made a little bit of a difference in
I'm
certain
sure you
areas.
have.
I'm sure your clients would say that. Absolutely. Okay, so now moving on to the this or that section.
Okay.
Remote work versus in person.
Can I say both? I love
I think
people.
I think HR.
I think HR is both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
HR is both, is it not?
I love people, but I also love not commuting in -40 Saskatchewan weather. So
Yes.
for that reason, I like remote. But to be honest, I like remote because I work with clients across Canada, so I can't always be right in person with them as much as I'd love to be. So I like remote for that option. And there are a lot of things that I can do remotely, and I don't have to take up a client's in-person time, especially in dental when their time is very valuable, you know. So there's a lot of stuff that I can do remotely. But I also, as you guys know, from this conversation, I like to chat with people and I like to chat with them in person. So before I go
I
on too much further, both, I'll just say.
I guess like from like an HR perspective too, like is there is there certain aspects of your job that like kind of need to be done in person or
Oh,
like
absolutely. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Depending on what it is, there are certain things that have to be in person, especially if it's, you know, employee specific related,
Yes.
you know, if there's certain conversations that need to be had, and even training, some of the training that I provide, like that's I prefer to do that in person. It's, you know, more
Right.
interactive and that kind of thing. So yeah, you're absolutely right there. I think with HR there's certain things that should be done in person and
Yeah.
have to be. Yep.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Now, are you more structure or flexibility?
Hmm. I think structure with flexibility in it. It's
That's not an answer. You sound
Says
like a
the HR
politician.
person that's yeah.
who preaches structure and processes. Yeah. I think structure to a certain extent, but there has to be flexibility within that, you know, like otherwise it just becomes maybe organized chaos in a way. I think like for example, you know, I'm creating a process for an employee. Things change within a company, you know, sometimes weekly, sometimes daily kind of thing, right? So I'm creating this process and this foundation or this structure for you, whatever you want to call it. But there has to be I have to be open to flexibility with that because to adapt to whatever changes come into play.
Verbiage is one thing that kind of comes to mind on that stuff.
Oh,
Like
yeah?
when you're training employees and like I've had both instances where like I'm like, here's some verbiage that you can use for different
Mm.
situations. And then they like read it verbatim. It's
Oh,
like,
no.
okay, well, I don't want you to do that because you just sound robotic and it's not actually applying to that situation. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
so you need
meant to
some
be a guideline.
flexibility. Yeah. So here's the general topics I need you to hit or principles, but do it in a way that sounds natural.
Right? Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this next question, because Kyle, you were more on the growth side, but stable. I was clearly in the stable, being the accountant. HR side of things, growth or stability?
I think stability first. Growth without stability is just
Chaos.
chaos. It's like panic with branding attached to it, maybe like it's chaos. Yeah. So stability
Uh,
first and growth when the time is right. I'm all
that's a
for
deep.
growth, but growth too soon can be catastrophic.
That's a deep answer. Stabilize, then grow. Maybe stability is growth, right?
Whoa.
Oh, now
Now
that's
we're
a
getting
deep answer.
philosophical here.
For some, I'm sure stability is growth. Actually,
Yes, yeah, that's
living
a
in
good
the chaos for too long.
Yeah. Are you more of risk or security?
okay. Um calculated risk. I'm not reckless. I like options, you know, but it depends. Like I think with like personally, there's some you like investments that are risky that are fun and, you know,
Oh God.
and but then there's some that are secure and, you know, really like those because I know the guaranteed return every year. But from a business standpoint, I think I would say like I'm kind of at the point where I'm both. Like I'm on even grounds, I think. I like to be risky in certain areas and try new things to a certain extent. That it won't be detrimental, obviously, to my business and what I can provide clients. But I also like having just that security that's nice to fall back on. And yeah.
So what about on Saturday night? What do you plan on doing? Going checking out the new rave club, or
Well, since I
renting a
am
movie and staying
22,
home?
100%. Yeah. Yeah. 15 years ago, absolutely. Now I am now being very pregnant. I'm excited to just sleep on Saturday night.
Fair enough.
Hitting the rave scene, especially in Saskatchewan, which is non-existent, would not be cool at 36 years old, let me tell you that.
You might be surprised at that.
I mean, hey, if I'm in Amsterdam or Germany or, somewhere in the UK,
Yeah.
it'd be just fine. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Okay, so moving on to some other questions here. And actually, I'm going to hit you with a different one here. What's your hobby?
My hobby?
Or
Okay, why
hobbies?
I'm hobby? Yeah, well, right now I'll tell you it's not really plural. There's not a lot of hobbies happening right at this moment. Running is a big part of my life. I have not been doing as much of that in the last 7 months, I'll say. But running, music, like I am someone that has to have music all the time. And like I get in my car and the first thing that has to go on is music or else I can't focus. I like to read. Yeah. So, I mean, pretty I think I've just aged myself because that's pretty like boring things now that I hear myself say it out loud. But running, music, and reading. Yeah.
Well, you haven't
It's
said
funny.
knitting, so you're not that
Yeah,
old.
we're good.
Oh yeah, no. I'm gonna do my best to not tackle that anytime soon.
It's funny because I found in my 30s too, like there's just like a change in pace, and like going out on a Friday or Saturday night, that just sounds exhausting. And
Oh
I
my
don't want to be
gosh.
tired tomorrow. That
Yes.
sounds terrible. A good Saturday night is I got in bed before 10 still. That's a great Saturday night.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah,
be productive on my weekends. I want to be able to wake up
exactly.
at 6:30 and, get household chores done. That's so
Exactly.
sad. Oh yeah.
So you mentioned music, and you asked each of us what our favorite music genre is. What's yours?
Ooh. I listen to a lot of drum and bass and
Like it.
EDM, UK rap, house. Yeah, that's pretty much my Spotify uh history. Yeah. Lots of
Something when that
Skepta,
bass
Fred
drops.
again. What's that?
Something about when that bass drops.
Honestly though, there is something about it. I know
So
you're kidding. There is something about it, honestly.
So the rave question wasn't too far off.
It wasn't too far off. No. No, definitely not. Yeah, to be 22 again, that would be that would be my jam for sure. Lots of Chase and Status. Or if you're from the UK, Status, I think they pronounce it Chase and Status over there. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's not the music genre I would have picked for you.
I listen my husband laughs because I listen to a lot of hard UK rap. And that's my jam, yeah.
Amazing. See, this is the whole point of doing these kind of fun, learning about
Yeah.
each other is, yeah, I don't know how long I've known you, Jess, but I did not know that hard UK rap was your jam.
Yeah, it is. I know you probably wouldn't guess that by looking at me, but
and knowing your family, yeah, no, it's that one kind of came out of left field for me.
well, I like to say of my family and the extended family that I have
Yeah,
good music taste.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm sure it's better than your husband's. That
absolutely.
that
Yes.
much I'm almost
But
confident of it.
actually, I'll say that what you on your when we were interviewing you, Kyle, what you were listing is your broad range of music preferences is exactly my husband's. He's got that that broad range as well.
Oh, well then, I stand corrected. So... He's a man of fine character and taste.
My wife is the same thing. It's you'll jump in her car and we might be Spice Girls all the way to some Eminem and then into some 70s rock.
I love it. Hey, broad range, nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
Yeah. What about what's your favorite sports team?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask that.
Oh, the Jays.
Yeah. Oh,
the helmet, my baseball.
Yeah.
Ernie Clements helmet, Ernie Clements baseball. Yep. Big fan. But I was a fan of the Jays long before last year. Last year was just probably the highlight of my Jays fan.
So I'm going to really age myself. I can remember when, now the name, I was going to say Vince Carter, but he's a basketball player.
Also good. Also love the Raptors.
Yeah, it's Carter.
Yeah. Anyways, when Carter hit the home run in 91.
Oh, Carter. Yeah.
I can still remember that.
Okay, yeah. I can't. I wish I could have experienced that, but I was a little too young. But I don't know. You know what? It's probably something to do with we live in Canada. We've got one baseball team, and so that's part of it. But honestly, there's just something about the Jays, you guys. And the team that they've had the last few years, fantastic. The management is great. The team camaraderie is fantastic. Big fan. Yes.
Joe Carter.
Seems like
Joe Carter. Yeah.
Joe Carter. That's it. Yeah. The Jays do seem like just a team that I would want to be a part of just to hang out with for a day.
Yes. Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. Yeah. We watch every game.
Oh my God.
Big thing in our household. And yeah, I think about Pilar's catch. Oh God, what year is that? 2017? Oh no, that might be wrong. I just big fan. Anyways, yeah. That's enough.
I think, Kyle, do you have any other questions you want to dive into on Jessica here?
Oh, I don't think so. Not this time. We might have to do this again though. It's
this is a fun series, hey?
I quite like this little series, and I think if we even brought back some of our interview guests and posted a mini series along this lines, that might be kind of fun too. So yeah, for now I think I'm good, and we'll leave it there.
Cool.
Perfect.
Well, thanks for putting me in the hot seat.
Thank you very much for taking the hot seat today, Jess. And it's good to learn more about you. And I will make sure that I've got some hardcore UK rap on my
I'll send you
playlist
some
next time we run into you.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot, everybody.
Yeah.
You've been listening to the Dental C-Suite. For show notes or to ask a question to the board, visit www.thedentalcsuite.com.